Oh. 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 Hello everyone and welcome to another episode on the V2 channel, and today we're going to be working on the E28 for the very first time. But before we move on to that, a ramp and many other things have magically appeared. We took a trip down to Twinbush in Kettering, I think they are, and they hooked us up with this fantastic two-post ramp, these amazing cabinets. I've always wanted something like this. My whole life, I've always dreamt of having a workshop with cabinets and lights. Oh, it's fantastic. So I'm very, very happy with all of this. We're gonna get the E28 on the ramp today. We're going to assess the rust, and hopefully it's not too bad. I really hope it's not too bad. We're also going to drain the oil, see how bad it is, and then we're going to take the cylinder head off and assess the engine. Now, the reason we need to do that is when we picked this car up, the engine was seized. The reason why is the cylinder head gasket has failed. The cylinders had a bit of coolant in them, and over time it's just seized. So we need to get the head off and assess the bores. Now, if the bores have excessive pitting or scoring from the coolant sitting in the bores, we will need to either fully rebuild this engine or we will need to replace it. If it's not that bad, we will get away with just taking the cylinder head off and doing a head gasket. So let's get it on the ramp, do an assessment, and hopefully it's not in terrible condition. I'm really nervous. If I jack it up and the ramp goes up but the car stays where it is, then we know we've got really big problems. Oh. There's no crunching. Okay, so I've got my pokey screwdriver and I've got a torch. I've noticed already there is a bit of surface rust here, but, oh, sorry Jay, I've just got shit all over your light. There's quite a lot of surface rust here, but it looks pretty solid apart from this hole. So we will need a bit of welding there. Chassis legs all look good. These can be prone to chassis legs and they are a nightmare to repair. So they can suffer with that. There's a bit of surface there. So that's, what was I just saying about the chassis legs? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Jacking point, actually really solid. There's a bit of flakiness there, but that all looks pretty good. This looks like it's been undersealed in the past actually, so Johnny's done a good job of preserving it there. So moving back, I've noticed there's a bit of separation as we come along the edge of the sill. And then here at the back, they're very common for this. There's a lot of corrosion. So there's quite a lot of rust here. And this side is slightly worse. But as I say, they're quite common for this. My 6 Series had the same issue, not quite as bad as this, actually. I did know about this, I expected this. There is also a hole there, and there. But the main thing I'm worried about actually is here. I don't know if you can see, there's actually separation going on between the outer and inner sill, and there's a gap along here. So we might end up having to put a whole sill on this. The floor pans are all pretty good. The drain holes are all pretty good. There's a little bit of surface around it, not bad. Again, on this side, we've got some separation on the sill, not terrible. Rear floor pan's good. Drain's good, here is good. There's some funny patch going on here, but again, I think that's just under seal. Oh no, it's not. It's had a bit of welding there. It's a little bit untidy. So while we'll have to remove the rear subframe to do this welding, while it's out, we'll probably tidy that up. It's not that bad. It's just not that bad. It's really not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I tell you what, it's done 204,000 miles. It's not that bad. Let's go home. Okay, so next up, now that we've assessed the rust and realised it's not that bad, we're going to drain the oil. Now I know that this is going to be bad because I've already looked at it. Oh, that is horrible. I have no words. It's like, it's not quite mayonnaise. It's like mayonnaise with a bit of something. I'd say salad cream. It's more like salad cream. Maybe what I should do is sort of scoop this up, mix it up with a bit of hardener and then cover up all the holes in the chassis with it. Right, so I'm gonna let that drain. While it's draining, we'll just leave it because it's gonna take about 10 years. We're gonna lower it down, open the engine up, open the bonnet up, and then see if we can get the head off and assess the rest of the situation and see if we can make some light out of everything that I found so far.
Before we find out the fate of that engine, a reminder from me that if you want to buy yourself a used car, van or motorbike, make sure you run a car vertical report on it first to ensure it's not been crashed, stolen or clocked. If we take a look at this Tesla Model S, you can see that we've got green ticks for odometer, finance and damage that tells me that this car does not have a shady past. And if you scroll down a little bit, you can see that the mileage graph checks out too. And now for an example of a car vertical report that would give me huge cause for concern, check out this Ferrari F430 Spider. Green ticks for odometer and finance, but an amber warning for damage. And in some instances on car vertical, you get crash damage pictures. As you can see here, we've got a front 3/4 impact, followed by a fire. We can keep on scrolling. The rest of the car looks in relatively good nick, except for the front, which looks like it's been very, very cream crackered and very, very toasty. So if you were to see this as a clean title car, you'd know because of Car Vertical that that's a lie. So again, don't get stung when buying a used car, van or motorbike. Run a Car Vertical report on it first. What's more, to sweeten the deal, you will get a massive 20% off using the code V2. Right then, back to the engine.
So let's start stripping down the engine. I'm going to start with the air filter. I'm then going to take the distributor cap off, rocker cover off. I'm going to disconnect the exhaust manifold. I'm then going to take the inlet manifold off, the thermostat housing off, and then disconnect the timing chain and remove the cylinder head. So let's get cracking with that. Cut to a nice little montage. Look at my 6-branch manifold. That is nice. I don't know why I'm using the world's longest ratchet. Don't ask me. It was just what was to hand, so. Where did that go? Right. We ready for rocker cover removal? Oh no. Oh, that is really quite terrible, isn't it? I think I'm going to need to get myself a parts washer. Oh, it looks really quite bad, doesn't it? It does look like it's got a high lift cam in it though. And to be fair, it doesn't look like there's any corrosion on the steel parts, which is a good sign. So this is an M30 engine, and these are very common for the camshafts wearing and the top ends rattling. And the reason for that is because of this bar here. This bar here is called an oil spray bar. And what it does, it gets oil from these galleries here, and it pressurizes down here and it sprays the camshaft and all the rockers with oil. What happens is there's 2 banjo bolts here. There's one there and one just there. And what happens is over time they come loose and the oil leaks out of those bolts and it doesn't get supplied to where it needs to be. If you have a look at this one here, it's almost worked its way halfway out. And that, after a little while, would have caused top end failure on this engine. So it was actually quite lucky that we took the rocker cover off and checked that. Right, now I'm going to disconnect the exhaust manifold. Lovely, look at that. One fan does plenty. Oh, look at this, look. This is called crystallization. It's what happens to antifreeze when you leave it to sit over a certain amount of time. It crystallizes and blocks up all your water galleries. Oh, look at that. Oh, look in there. Oh, it's like bogies. Right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this screw out and I'm gonna take the whole radiator out with the hoses attached, because all the clips are seized and the radiator is knackered as well. It's very corroded. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of leakage and pooage going on. And all of these are knackered. I'm just gonna chuck it all away and just replace it, because it's just knackered. Right, I'm just going to put it up in the air. We'll check on the oil draining situation while we're up. Oh my God. There's been an explosion. Oh no. Shit, 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 shit. How is this still coming out? Oh no. Oh my. It's like paint. Oh, it's going on the floor. Oh, it's going, oh my God. How do you even clean this? Shit. This is a nightmare. This is a brand new workshop and I've f***ed it up already. It looks like I've had a really bad curry. Like terrible. I'm just gonna have to throw it all away, pop it in the bin and start again. Look at the state of this. Okay, so I've removed the rest of the inlet manifold and all the wiring down this side of the engine, disconnected a little water housing down the back of the cylinder head. The timing chain's disconnected, the water hose is disconnected and the exhaust manifold's disconnected. So we are ready to get the cylinder head off. I'm a little bit nervous as to what we're gonna find, but also excited. Hopefully we can salvage it. Let's see. I'm not gonna undo the head bolts in any particular sequence because we know that the head's warped. Oh, we've got a little bit of oil on that one. Oh, and on that one. Oh, more mayo. There we are, all 14 head bolts. Let me just find a nice little place to put these. We're ready to remove the head. Oh, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I've made more of a mess. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at what's coming out the sump plug. Oh. This head gasket had gone really bad. Yeah, that's normal. This is normal. This is the special hydrogen powered E28. Now that we've got the head off, what we're looking for is any potential cracks in the block, any potential cracks in the head, and we're mainly looking to see if there's any corrosion or scoring in the bores where the pistons sit. Because the engine was seized, that is a possibility. If it doesn't have any of that, then I'd say the engine is salvageable and we can more than likely just get away with having the head skimmed, putting a new head gasket on it and rebuilding the top end. If the bottom end does have bore scoring or pitting, there's a possibility we may end up just putting a new engine in it or having to completely rebuild this block. So let's clear all this water out and have a little look. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is turn it over and check a cylinder at a time. So number one, can you see there's a bit of scoring at the bottom here? Just there. That's not a particularly good sign, but it's also not the worst I've seen. I can't feel it with my fingernail. So I'm also gonna check number 6 because while number 1's at the bottom, number 6 is also at the bottom. And again, there's a little bit of scoring there, but it actually looks all right. Cylinder 2 and cylinder 4 are now at bottom dead center. Again, it's pretty much the same story with number 1. There's a small score just at the bottom there, but the rest of it looks really good. Number 4, on the other hand, this must have been the cylinder that had the moisture in it and that was seized. You can see a lot of pitting. I can actually feel the pitting really badly at the bottom here, and it actually feels a bit rough. It doesn't feel very nice. So this is number 5, not number 4. Okay, so I'm now going to turn it over and check number 3 and number 4. And again, they actually look in really good condition. So the only one that's bad is cylinder number 5, and that will be the reason that the engine was seized when we went to go and collect the car. Now, I personally, I'm not 100% sure about whether that is salvageable. So I'm going to speak to a couple of engineer friends of mine, but I'm not particularly happy with it. So unfortunately, I feel like the engine's either going to have to come out or we're going to have to replace it. But now we've got to drop it to my good friend Josh and see if he can have a look at the welding work and see if that's salvageable. Because if not, at the moment, we're up shit's creek without a paddle. Right, so we've brought the E28 all the way over to my good friend Josh Gresswells, owner of Gresswells. So tell us what you do, Josh.
So I do anything sort of like pre-2000s, well I try to do pre-2000s.
Because obviously that's the best stuff.
And then I just do a lot of light fabrication, a little bit of welding, air ride, all sorts of hydraulics. And...
I don't like how you said a little bit of welding and light fabrication.
Yeah.
So I've noticed you've got some very cool cars in here. You've got a Citroen Ami, which is fantastic. I absolutely adore those. And you're putting that on air ride.
Yeah.
And you're the first person to ever do that.
Yeah, no one's ever put one of those on air ride. There's been a lot of like lowered ones, and I do believe they just cut the springs on the front.
You've also got a very cool Honda Prelude, I want to say. That's a Prelude coupe, isn't it?
Yeah.
A slammed Beetle over there. This is your Ford, this is a Sierra, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a Sierra, first gen Sierra.
And you did a barn find video on this car. It was sat in a barn for 30 years. And Josh also has his very own YouTube channel, don't you, Josh?
I do, yes.
So I can see you've got some very cool stuff in here. So this should be an absolute walk in the park for you. I've already had a look at it. It's got a little bit of surface here and there. It's really not that bad. Obviously, I've taken the cylinder head off today. The wheels we've sent off to the wheel specialist, which is why it currently looks a bit shit. So let's get it up in the air. We'll assess the corrosion situation, see what you think of it. And if it's something that is salvageable, it'll be salvageable. It's fine. So
I can see the hole already.
yeah, there's a hole there. This is all surface. We can just brush that off, but there's a small hole there. So that'll just need, that'll take 5 minutes. It should just 5 minutes, just should it. So this side has got a fair oil leak, so the chassis leg is absolutely fine. Whereas this side doesn't have so much of an oil leak, so there's a hole.
There's another hole here as well.
Is there? Oh no. Oh shit. Oh. Well, anyway, this is all good. This is under seal. I've checked this. It's got a bit of a funny colour, but it did under seal that. Right? So, obviously, a small hole. That'll take 4, maybe 5 minutes to repair. My bigger concern is the separation of the outer and inner seal there.
Is that expanding foam in there?
No, it wouldn't be.
There is foam ball there.
What?
foam packing peanuts inside.
Oh my God. Oh shit. Do you think that mice might have put them in there? Because there was a couple of parcels in the garage that we got it from. Maybe that's a mouse house.
You said it was mint.
I said that there was a little bit of surface corrosion.
A little bit.
And there is, look.
Oh yeah, there is surface on it, I'll give you that.
But, one thing I forgot to mention earlier. We said earlier that it doesn't have a limited slip diff. It does, because if I hold the prop shaft, right?
Yep. Cheers.
That is a plated limited slip diff, and that feels tight. Very tight. So it does have a limited slip diff, which is very cool. Over here, this might take a little bit longer. This will probably take you 22 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But there's, as you can see, the inner seal here, it just wants a little patch. The jacking point's good, look. The jacking point still exists.
It is there. Some of it is there.
And obviously on the end here, there's just a little drain hole. And then again here, there's just a small amount of separation.
Did you even look at this before
I
you
did
bought
poke
it?
it, yeah. I did. But it's all right, isn't it? It's just it wants a little bit of titivation.
I mean, the one over there on the wall is a lot cleaner than this one.
Oh yeah, so Josh has an entire E28 side on the wall over there for some reason. Not sure why. Genuinely, what do you think?
Generally, usually anything this sort of age is going to be rusty already.
Is it as bad as you was expecting it to be?
Worse.
Is it? Yeah. A lot worse or a bit worse?
Quite a bit. When you said there's a little hole on the back sill.
I said, look, there's a little hole on the back sill.
I don't know if that's what you'd class as little.
You can't get your hand in it.
No?
So I class it as, I think anything that you can get your hand in is big.
Don't.
Your entire fist. Right, so I'm going to have a think about the engine and work out what to do with it. In the meantime, what do you reckon of the rust? Is it salvageable? What do you reckon? Can you fix it?
I can fix it, yeah.
Yeah?
It's nothing new that I've seen. I've fixed a lot worse. It's just normal at this point. All these cars need the same thing.
That's what I like to hear. He's fixed a lot worse.
Yeah, I have fixed a lot worse, and those people should never come back to me.
Okay.
Because I hated that. But no, this is not actually that bad in the grand scheme of things. There you go.
What did I say earlier? It's not that bad.
But it is pretty bad.
Is it? All right, well, we're going to leave the E28 here. Josh is going to do a bit of titivation work and weld it up and not use fiberglass glue or Tiger Seal. I'm going to have a think about what to do with the engine. In the meantime, the wheels are being done by the wheel specialist. I'm going to work out what to do with this, glue it all up. Hopefully we'll get it back soon, get a bit of bodywork done on it, and it might be ready for the road. Who knows? Maybe in 2027. In the meantime, I'm going to go and get some dinner because I'm starving. I've only eaten twice today.
I've got to carry on working till late this evening.
Yeah. Right, I'll see
Just
you.
leave the car outside, I'll bring it out when I'm done.
All right, thanks. I'm going to go and get some lunch.
Yeah, no worries. Can I have anything?
No.
All right. Yeah, no worries. I'll just carry on then.